welcome to SVG-TV News for Thursday, June 28, 2018. I'm Yvette Boynes with the details. Minister of Health and the Environment Luke Brown has described the soon-to-be open Diagnostic Center at Georgetown as a major breakthrough for healthcare in this country. At the sitting of Parliament today, Minister Brown said that the facility, which will be opened next Monday, 2nd July at 2 p.m., cost in excess of $22 million. He highlighted that the Diagnostic Center will offer a wide range of health services, including hemodialysis treatment.
The House should appreciate that this is going to be a major breakthrough for the provision of healthcare services in this country. This multi-million-dollar facility, in fact, it was built at a cost of over $22 million, and we'll get the final figures shortly when we factor in some equipment that was recently organized. It was built at a cost of $22 million, and it would provide a wide range of medical services. One of the important things to note is that it would be the first public healthcare facility in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to do hemodialysis.
Minister Brown revealed that between 2015 and 2016, 53 persons died from kidney-related diseases, as he pointed to the relief which the operation of the facility will offer to patients. He expressed gratitude to those who made an input into the facility and singled out the contribution of the government of Cuba.
We want to tell persons with these sorts of problems that they are going to have a chance at living a fairly normal life as a result of an initiative of the Unity Labour Party government. Mr. Speaker, we thank everyone who was involved in this project from its inception, including the National Insurance Services, which provided financing, and we would like to thank very especially the Republic of Cuba that was there with us at every stage of this project. Cuba provided technical support for building, they helped with some equipment as well for this facility, and they even sent a medical brigade of 23 health professionals to help us with the startup of operations.
The government is closing its operation at midday on Monday to allow public servants to attend the opening of the Diagnostic Center. Today paid tribute to the 3 children and 1 adult who drowned at Breakers Beach on Sunday, June 3, 2018. This as grieving relatives prepare to lay them to rest tomorrow, Friday, 29 June, after a service at the Fellowship Baptist Church at Prospect. Parliamentary Representative for East St. George, Camilla Gonzalez, said he prays for God's comfort for the families. Minister Gonzalez said it was heartbreaking that the children and adults lost their lives in such a tragic way, but also used the opportunity to remind persons to be cautious when at sea. He said caution must particularly be exercised in areas where the sea is rough.
I give my most heartfelt condolences to their families, to Daniel and Teresa Phillips, to Javon Phillips and Asha Patterson, to Junior Shallow and Margarita Roberts, to David Cupid and Roxanne Welcome, and all of their siblings. It's amazing the tight-knit community they came from and how close they were to each other. And I urge again that we all be careful when we enjoy our country's natural gifts, because we do have some dangerous beaches, particularly on the windward side of the mainland. Mr. Speaker, the funeral service for all 4 of the deceased will be held tomorrow at the Fellowship Baptist Church in Prospect, with a viewing of 1 p.m. and service at 2 p.m. and they will be laid to rest at the Calico Cemetery. Again, my condolences, and may they all rest in peace.
Member of Parliament for East Kingston, Arnie Musis, also expressed similar sentiments as he too extended sympathy to the grieving families.
The father of the young man is a close friend of my son, who lives in the United States. And he was particularly torn by the tragedy that has taken place. I believe every family in St. Vincent and the Grenadines was in some way affected by this terrible event that took place. And I hope this has not been the first one. I hope we'll pay greater attention, and the people in that area will pay greater attention to what has transpired. We cannot ignore them. We must learn the lessons from what has happened. Young lives, we don't know what they may have become. Young lives lost, and lost forever. Families grieving because of the loss that they face.
Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has accused the NDP of not being serious on the issue of the passage of integrity legislation. Dr. Gonsalves, who has responded to a question in Parliament today on the issue of integrity legislation, said the failed Constitution of 2004 would have provided for a constitutional protected committee which would have been superior to legislation. PM Gonsalves then scoffed at the question posed by the opposition.
Mr. Speaker, the chairman of the NDP at the time, Dr. Linton Lewis, has subsequently said that the constitutional reform was far superior to what exists. And every single dispassionate person who has examined it agrees with that conclusion. So now, every now and again, I hear it on the platform. Integrity legislation. They had an opportunity for a constitutionally protected integrity commission to address these questions which he has raised and more. So that's the first point that I want to make.
The Prime Minister said that it is incorrect to suggest that there is no legal framework to address matters which would be provided for under integrity legislation.
Public servants have been so charged, and politicians, at least one. And then if you wish to go beyond the criminal statute currently, there's a common law offense of misbehavior in public office, where you can have particulars on the misbehavior in public office for different kinds of behavior by public servants, by parliamentarians, ministers and the like. And that carries a penal sanction.
The Prime Minister said the government will, however, be working with the region on harmonized integrity legislation.
Both in CARICOM and in the OECS. I would like us to fashion, particularly across the OECS, where there's a greater similarities and where the integration is tighter, for us to have a model piece of legislation regionally to address matters in relation to quote-unquote integrity legislation.
Minister of Agriculture and Fisheries, Sabota Caesar, has said that priority is being given to addressing the problems caused by the invasion of the sargassum seaweed. Caesar, who was speaking in Parliament today, said the Fisheries Department is leading in a multi-sectoral approach to address the problem, which negatively impacts the tourism sector.
In three major operations, Mr. Speaker, one at the Owea Fisheries Complex. Work was also done in Union Island and smaller operations in Beckway. Mr. Speaker, we are following this issue.
The private sector doing it in Canawan.
And the private sector is doing it in Canawan and Mustique. And I know some other social organizations have done good work on the windward side. I have seen there's the closure of guest houses and hotels in Barbados and in some areas, and we will do whatever it takes to ensure that we address the problem here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
Caesar said a private company from St. Lucia with experience in converting seaweed into fertilizer is now in SVG and will be sharing their expertise with the government.
In fact, they're already on the ground, so that when we mobilize and we remove the seaweed, that we can take it someplace so that we can properly utilize it. Their flagship product is called Total Plant Tonic. It has been tested and certified by Kariri, and some 300 farmers are using it in St. Lucia and over 100 farmers in Beckway, and it's something that we want to expose our farmers to here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and this is definitely commendable. Some farmers have already started to use it, and the ministry will provide guidance and further advice on the methods to utilize the seaweed.
A health consultant has praised the efforts of the HIV/AIDS unit in successfully implementing the HIV-TB case-based surveillance system. The system is designed to collect data which health officials will use to implement targeted strategies in their fight against HIV/AIDS and tuberculosis transmission. Mildred Fakoya, a health systems consultant, said private and public sector entities took part in the pilot program, which was successful.
As of today, we still have 695 screenings from the system used from Caribbean Reference Lab. We have 208 from Planned Parenthood. We had 633 from the National AIDS Secretariat, and then I think the highest number of confirmatory tests comes from the lab, and so we have a lot of confirmatory tests coming from the lab, over 1,594 from the hospital lab. And so because of the volume of this test, the system can be tested. You can be able to track a large population of Vincentians having screened. And so you can be able to see that the screening, at least more than 50% of the population has been screened. And then you can see the prevalence of HIV, and then the ones that are new positive can be in care and they can live a normal life.
Fakoya said the HIV/AIDS unit went above and beyond the call of duty and have set a fine example for the rest of the region.
You know, once an organization has a supervisor who is ready to work, everything works well. So they have excellent supervisors, and they have been extremely excellent, and they have made St. Vincent proud. Not only by myself, by even the Global Fund, by the region, by everybody. They have actually made this possible. They have made the work very easy for OECS, because with the shortest record time that has ever been recorded, they have made things that have not been possible happen. So the support, the willingness to work, we have had a lot of sleepless nights, and they were very supportive. And they make sure they work when they're supposed to work, and they follow up when they're supposed to follow up. So I think so far in history, they have made the fastest record, because what we try to achieve in 1 year in other countries, we achieve in 1 month in Vincent.
Meanwhile, Feroza Roach, director of the HIV/AIDS unit, said she is pleased with the success of the pilot program and underscored the commitment of the unit to continue the fight against HIV/AIDS.
Because it's going to provide us with a lot of information and indicators to help us in planning, in developing policies for persons living and affected by HIV and TB. I just wanted to say that we at the HIV/AIDS unit, we are committed, and we will continue in the fight against HIV/AIDS and TB, because we really want to see the end of AIDS by 2030.
The successful CPEA students of the Oyo Government School were yesterday encouraged to pursue their dreams and remain true to themselves. The encouragement came from the featured speaker at the school's 2018 graduation ceremony, SVG-TV's news editor Rochelle Batiste, a product of Oyo. The ceremony was held under the theme, The Climb, Set Your Goals and Reach Your Fullest Potential.
My struggles and ups and downs have helped mold me into a strong and confident young woman that I can be standing here today sharing my own experience with all of you. My climb, however, is not yet over. as I do not believe I have achieved my fullest potential. Most importantly, and that is what I'm sure of, is that I remain true to myself. I'm encouraging all of you, especially those who will be moving on to secondary school, to do the same, because no matter what life throws at you, as long as you believe in yourself and your potential, you can achieve anything.
Carnival Beat is coming right up. Band leader and representative of the Carnival Bands Association, Ali Cadogan, has welcomed the CDC's move to take Mardi Gras back to the Victoria Park. The decision, which was announced by the CDC chairman Ricardo Adams at a media briefing last week, has been welcomed by a number of band leaders who protested last year's move to Little Tokyo. In an interview with SVG-TV's Nikita Tony, Cadogan said while she likes the idea of judging on the roads, she did not think that Little Tokyo was the ideal location, and she is happy with the change.
We go to Carnival City. For me, it's a stomping ground, because then I find last year the masqueraders were dead. It's like didn't get the spirit. The spirit was not there. It's like you're in, you're out, and you're just moving. In Victoria Park, I find as soon as you cross that big stage there, it's like a zombie. It's like it's hard to sit up. It's like a spirit. It's like something hit you, and you're just ready for the road. Some other bands are complaining, well, okay, there is no music from the time you leave what you call Health Department Bridge, and they ask, okay, because remember the trucks can't go, the trucks go on the bridge and stop, and then you turn up. There's no music there, so the masqueraders kind of feel dead, and this and that. There's no music from Catholic Road come down. But hey, soon as you hit park and you get the music, you get the vibes, you cross the stage, you have fun.
Cadogan restated the CBA's promise to have a more organized procession on the roads on Carnival Tuesday.
A person who's thinking there will be a bottleneck, we are trying as mass leaders not to create a bottleneck, but have a smooth flow in Victoria Park, out Victoria Park, and uptown. We're trying to put things in place. What we've been asking the police to work with us with is that our problem is vehicles parked between OT and Victoria Park in that alley. And that would be our biggest obstacles when they park there, because in big costumes, because there's already assembly, difficult to get in and get through the thing. If the vehicles are removed from there and the whole of Catholic Road, there is no vehicle parked there and free, we are good to go. Give us that and we're good. We'll be in and out of the whole area. And it can work. It worked before, it can work again. We just have to make it work for us.
The party mass revolution has taken the Vincy Mass Arena by storm, as masqueraders not only revel in extravagantly designed costumes, but also sample an all-inclusive party vibe on the streets of Kingston come Mardi Gras. The Adrenaline Mass Camp said it has offered this experience for over 10 years and is this year promising revelers an even greater experience. Nikita Tony tells us more in this report.
Known as one of the top party bands here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the Adrenaline Mass Band continues to enhance their production as they present for 2018 Peckathon. Member of the band's committee and production team, Janetta Richards, said Adrenaline, which is putting out its 11th mass production, is only aiming to get better despite their challenges.
Yes, Adrenaline was one of the first bands that started the whole party vibes and the feather revolution, as you know, and there are multiple bands all over the world. They're advancing. It makes no sense that we switch back to the traditional cardboards and beads when we start with feathers. We're advancing, so we just hope to continue move forward as the trends advance. Are pushing through, because we not only responsible for ourselves, but we want to always maintain that standard of experience for our masqueraders. So despite dropping sponsorship, we're there and we're thriving, and we'll get there for Tuesday.
Richards gave some insights into the 2018 production titled Peccatum and the meaning behind it.
18, our theme is Peccatum, which is the Latin word for sin. Initially, we're doing, well, technically we're doing the sins well, 6 of them actually. If you Google, you'll see that libidine actually is Latin for lust, and ira is Latin for wrath. Costume is libidine, which is lust. This multicolored one is ira, which is wrath. We have superbia, we have avaricia, and we also have abdominis, which is a middle section, and we also have decidia. So if you don't know what these words mean, you could visit our Facebook or Instagram page.
As we look forward to have a full band for Vincy Mass 2018, Richard thanked all supporters and other members of the public who continue to make Adrenaline Carnival their #1 choice.
Although our costumes are made from feathers are not cheap, as you know, but you're also paying for the experience. You have an all-inclusive band where you get food on the road, you get drinks, you drink as you please, and you get snacks. And of course we have one of the best musicians, trucks, music, everything. So you're paying for the entire package, not just, as everybody say, I'm not spending all that money for feathers. And there are limited spots available, so if you want to be with us on the road Carnival Tuesday, you need to get down to our mass tent at French's Gate. I can guarantee that you will not regret playing with Adrenaline this year.
Travelers are being encouraged to come out and be a part of Adrenaline Carnival 2018 because sin has never looked so good. Reporting for Carnival Beat, I am Nikita Tony.
All right.